going on? We may not have made the Beyonce Renaissance tour, but we having our own Renaissance today. Welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast. I am your host, Charlie, with my best girlfriend, Melanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? You know what? I did have FOMO this whole weekend about not going to that concert. But to be fair,
Same.
and I'm not no tea, no shade, but like I saw so many people that went, like they posted their seats or like their view. And I was just like, for the amount that you paid, I could have just traveled to Europe. Because you basically saw Beyonce like yards away, hundreds of yards away. So,
I mean, I would have, for the experience, like she had a huge stage and huge screens and stuff. I know what you mean, but for the experience, I would have done it. I seen tickets leading up to the show like $200 a piece.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how far were the seats?
They were not the best. There was like, but it wasn't like all the way top either, like all the way on the top last row either.
Like nosebleed seats and
it wasn't that either. It wasn't like really like that either. But just for the experience, I would have gone. But East Rutherford, New Jersey.
East Rutherford. I heard that she goes there because that's like the biggest stadium in like
this, I guess,
in
the tri-state area.
In the tri-state area, yeah. I was gonna say metropolitan area, but that's where she's done her concerts many times before. So I mean, that's beautiful, that's great. But also, she was like a whole hour late, and
for real,
they don't have
Madonna.
They don't know. Madonna be 3 hours late.
But that's what I was saying. She's pulling
They
Madonna.
They don't have the same rules and regulations like Citi Field
or like a Yankee Stadium.
No, really. I don't know about Yankee Stadium but I definitely know Madison Square Garden has like rules where you have to like cut out at a certain time.
Because my question was, why not Yankee Stadium? Like your man's from New York. Like why didn't she do New York? I can see why she didn't do Barclays or Madison Square. She's on a stadium tour. Those are not stadiums. But we have Yankee Stadium. So it's like, why not Yankee Stadium, Beyonce? Like
Yankee Stadium doesn't have as many seats as East Rutherford, wherever the fuck.
I have to figure it's something because it's like, damn, like girl, I'm a little upset that she didn't come to New York. But
yeah.
I guess.
Honestly, if I would have gone to see her, like my friend Ashley, she went for her birthday. She went with her sister to see Beyonce in Philly. I would have gone like to Philadelphia or gone to a different city just as a trip aspect of it, and also just to like, I don't know, how like see her in a different environment. I think in New York it would have been too rowdy.
Funny you mentioned that because I was like, randomly, I'm like this past weekend too. I'm like, where else is she at? Has she gone to ATL yet? And she hasn't. And funny enough, the tickets are even cheaper over there at ATL.
In Atlanta,
she has 3 shows over there. 3.
Yeah,
and
that would be a fucking movie.
That's not that. They're not that expensive as over here. The tickets.
Yeah, I think.
I feel Atlanta would be a movie. Like. I
need Madonna to give me my refund so we can go see Beyonce, because Madonna, you playing games, dancing in your fucking bedroom. Meanwhile, your tour postponed. Like, come on, you're learning from Britney Spears now.
Right? No, Britney never postponed a tour.
No, she never did. But like, she's dancing in her room.
Oh, like dancing in the living room.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm like,
anyway, how was your weekend?
My weekend. It was good. It was low key and it was good and productive all in the same time. Friday night, I went on a boat cruise. I feel like lately we've been meeting all these, like you spoke about Uber a few weeks ago that you bumped into her at
Real Housewife
at Columbus Circle. Uber from Real Housewives of New York, the new Roni. And I feel like, this is the universe. We're destined to run into these celebs because it's like I feel like we've been running into like celebs or what is it? Quasi-celebs or whatever that word
Socialites,
is.
influencers.
Because I forgot, I told you, you know this, but not too long ago, I so randomly ran into Little Mama. Like, when I tell you the girl, like, she had like a doobie, like those extra, like those basketball shorts, like very like baggy, like big, Like she was not trying to be recognized in the hood because it was in the hood. But those eyes of hers definitely popped out. And she said hi. She like nodded and smiled at myself and the kids and such. And but that was cool running to her. And then this past Friday, some may not consider her a celebrity. I would say a Rue girl. But Kimora Black. She was there with some of her girlfriends and talking about one of her little girlfriends right next to us, like talking about corns on her feet and popping the corns. And I was like, okay. So yeah, we were all in a little chit chat for a little bit, but too bad it had to do with her friend's feet and corns and popping corns. But it was cute. It was cute. Saturday I rested. Sunday I was productive. And I mean, could we talk about this? Can we make this announcement now?
Yeah, I guess the poll's over, right?
The poll is over. We did a poll, and I don't know if you guys got the hint. We did a poll of where we should go on vacation next. We went to LA back in June, and we're going on another vacation.
Drum roll.
Oh wait. And the vacation is. Do you want to announce it? Where are we going?
Yeah, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Puerto Rico.
Oh, you said
yes. Woo! We are going to Puerto Rico, baby. And it's your first time.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go to Puerto Rico forever. And I remember we made a pact. So this is funny. Mm-hmm. Charlie and I, early in our friendship, we made a pact that we would not go, that when I went to Puerto Rico for the first time, it would be with Charlie, obviously. Since Charlie was raised there, he goes back a lot, very frequently. And like, I want him to show me his neck of the woods and show me around, whatever, and just have a good time. But now it manifested, and I claimed it in the name of Jesus that we were going to go because this year I wanted to travel more. I owe it to myself. But the icing on the fucking cake is the fact that not only are we going, but our good Judy Rolfe is coming. So the 3 amigas, the 3 good Judys,
the 3 musketeers. We could continue on with the innuendos.
Yeah, the 3 of us are going. Oh, my single ladies.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so excited to share this. Like, I've been looking forward to it. Like, once it really officialized, if that's even a word. And I'm just excited because I know Ralph has gone, but like it's your first time, so I'm excited. Like someone to like basically see it through your eyes and your experience, and you've been wanting to go. And the pact that we had, like the first time you go, it would be with me, and that's happening. Ralph has been a few times, but I'm still excited, like to still basically share it with both of you, and not only that, but all 3 of us down there.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be amazing. So
and this is our first like best friends trip, like together, all 3 of us.
All 3 of us, yeah.
We've hung out and
we've done trips.
Me and Ralph have traveled together, but like just to different states. But it's never. Wait, I'm trying to think where else. But yeah, that's about it. Like none of us have gone to Puerto Rico, and I should have gone to Puerto Rico. I'm like an ambassador of Puerto Rico, like with all the relations that I've had in Puerto Rico. But anyway, I'm excited.
But what about your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Saturday, I took the day to basically like chill out. I got a massage because I haven't had a massage since I came back from LA. Right? Yeah. That was a long time. That was like weeks ago. And then Sunday, I had a cute date. It was very fun. Very prospering. Is that a word?
Prosperous.
Seems promising. Prosperous. Yeah. I'm getting it's a second chance at Leo's. Because, you know.
You get this line. It's Leo season, baby.
It's Leo season. That's the irony. But you know what's funny? You know what's even funny? It's Leo season with an Aquarius moon. Bitch is meant to be.
Yes. You watched that video that I sent you, right? Like, girl, I've been all like, yes, that's so funny.
I know a lot of people are not into astrology, but a lot of the shit that's popping off right now is very much explained
Mm-hmm.
in astrology right now. It's not just
Mm.
about like seeing the future. It's not. It's
No,
about the
yeah.
wavelengths and everything that's going on and the vibes right now.
Yeah.
So
And I wish people would get more into it because, again, like you said, it's not just astrology, it's a lot of other stuff that take place. And when you really start studying and watching more things and educating yourself and just, excuse me,
mhm.
listening to different things, you kind of learn. Like you said, it's not, it's wavelengths, it's all this stuff. And it's just exciting and it's promising. And I feel good. I've been feeling, for me, I've been on a journey of like, wellness for myself, mentally, physically, overall, and just that growth. Um,
Yeah.
through therapy and just watching every day. I watch self help. I've been meditating, like even today during my lunch break. It's been beautiful the last few days in New York. Thank the good Lord.
Yeah.
And I went to the park during my lunch break and meditated. I literally, sometimes my fear before when I first did this was, oh my God, what about like people pass and see me like sitting down with my like hands like and my eyes closed or whatever. But I don't care. Like I block that out
End
and
up in TikTok.
then I have my affirmations going on in my ear and I'm breathing stuff. So I'm just a lot of little different things I'm doing for my well betterment, and that's kind of like you said. Right now, that's the theme of all these things I watch and videos I watch is like that's the theme of growth and people wanting to like nurture themselves and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited about this season. I'm excited about summer. I'm sad that summer's basically almost gone.
I'm actually kind of happy. I'm looking forward to literally turning a new leaf because I just want the brisk, like chilly fall air to come. As much as I was excited for summer, I'm glad that we're ending it on a
Almost ending.
trip. Um, and I don't know. I feel like this summer has been way too hot, and also it's been too like exhausting. It almost didn't feel like to me like it was enjoyable to do things outside because I felt exhausted physically and mentally. So I'm
It
kind
was
of like wanting it to move.
the last 2 years we've both been on the same page about we can't wait for fall. This year I'm just more shocked, like wow, summer's really over. I don't I don't want summer this year. I'm not like, oh, I can't wait for it to be over like the last 2 years. But I
Yeah.
do agree in the sense of it's exhausting. Like it has been an exhausting summer. Like for
Like,
me, work
question,
wise,
do
like
you find yourself wanting to like hang out and do things after work? Or do you feel this urge to want to go home and just unwind and decompress? Because I do. I don't want to be outside after I've been around socializing and networking with a bunch of people and but like, no. Also, I do want to say though, I feel like although summer is officially ending soon, I don't think that the heat and like the weather is going to change overnight. I feel like it's going to be a slow transition to fall. So probably in October, expect like a warm. I sound like a meteorologist right now. Expect a warmer Halloween or something because I don't see
we'll
it like
see.
changing over.
If it's
We'll
a
see.
warmer Halloween, when I say the sluts are gonna be slutting, they're gonna slut, all right?
We need to
Because
start thinking about our Halloween costumes.
well, I threw you an idea, but I need help like finding it because it's not that easy to find that costume. Don't say it yet. Don't say it on
You could.
thing.
I'm not gonna say it, but I'm sure you could find it. I'm sure. If anything, you
I
could
ain't trying
find.
to go on. I ain't trying to pay eBay prices
I,
either.
that's what I was gonna say, but but the idea is so funny. It's so cute.
And it would be different, right? It would be
Yeah.
different.
My option is in my Amazon shopping cart.
Not the cart.
All I
But
need is a wig and a
well,
white.
listen, we had our weekend in New York, and unfortunately, it's something that I just wanted to mention. I don't want to stay on this too much, and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't know if you heard about the deadly stabbing of O'Shea Sibley, a 28-year-old
Yeah.
professional dancer, who on Saturday night, July 29th, a little after 11 p.m. at a gas station in Coney Island, he was out with some friends. They must have been coming, what people do, what friends do, whether it's a group of girls, whether it's a group of straight guys, whether it's a mixed group, whether it's a gay group, whatever, having fun, enjoying themselves. I guess this group of friends, O'Shea and his group of friends, were dancing to Beyonce at the gas station, and there was another group, allegedly Muslims, or well, not all of them, but I'll get into why I say Muslim because um, an argument erupted between both of them, and you see it on camera, but you don't see the stabbing actually happen on camera. What happens shortly after is, unfortunately, the suspect, an alleged 17-year-old Muslim, basically goes and stabs O'Shea Sibley to death. Well, O'Shea Sibley, he was rushed to the hospital, to the nearby hospital, but unfortunately, at the hospital, he passed, and there was nothing that could be done to resuscitate him. I wanted to mention this because, first of all, it's all over. It's catching like wildfire. Even Beyonce on her website posted, "Rest in power, O'Shea Sibley." But to me, it's a little disheartening and like shocking that this is happening one in our backyard, like literally our backyard, a city that a lot of people usually come and escape to because they feel that they could be free. Because that's honestly, New York is one of those cities. Say what you will, take your pose out there, but a lot of people, especially gay people, escape that are not originally from New York and they're around the country, escape to come to New York because this is, a place that's so open and et cetera, and the history that New York has with, gay and accepting, et cetera. So it's crazy to me. Like, I'm not surprised because we have homophobes everywhere. Like they're everywhere,
Yeah.
but that this is actually happening. So NYC cops, their investigation, they're considering this a hate crime. They haven't caught the suspect. But yeah, I don't. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, I read about it because I saw Andy Cohen posted his picture. Um,
Yeah,
it's really sad and it's a shame.
yeah,
Having a kiki or having fun with your friends leads to your death. And like they
yeah,
weren't doing anything; they were literally enjoying themselves, just dancing, having
yeah.
fun. I could understand if like a confrontation started that led to like them fighting, but like to go stab someone because you are not, I don't know, not understanding of like their preference, I definitely think it's a hate crime. Definitely.
Well, supposedly from some of excuse me,
Does the video
O'Shea's.
have audio? Because I saw the video. I actually saw the video on Sunday at a bar, but I
No,
didn't hear the
I didn't
audio.
hear audio, but according to O'Shea's friends, because it was a group of them, basically some of the accounts says that he said this, the person who did the stabbing said, "Oh, felt disrespected and didn't like the stuff that they were doing, basically dance, like gay men basically dancing,
It's a free
and he didn't
fucking
agree with
country.
it." Well, I mean, again, no disrespect to the Muslim culture and stuff, but as we know, they could be, especially the men, could be very homophobic and against gay, and especially in their country. I've read it. I've read it a few times. Like people, siblings and families that actually kill their own sons, brothers because of their orientation in their country. So if they're doing it there, and that's freely, they can do it there because it's illegal basically to be gay or there. So you know, but I mean, this may sound harsh, and again, you know, sometimes we try to watch ourselves for censorship and not trying to offend anyone. But listen, stay in your country. If you want to carry on like that and you have strong beliefs, stay in your country where you could unfortunately still do that shit, and don't try to come over here where we're trying to be progressive. Well, trying, that's the word, trying to be progressive and a little more open than some other places. So, um, yeah, that's my take on that. But just had to mention it. Definitely rest in power, and you know, to my brothers and sisters in the community, like let's not let this deter us or scare us, because again, like I even thought to myself, like, damn, like it's New York. Like I gotta worry now about holding hands with like someone or maybe kissing someone or whatever, because
Hmm.
like no.
And it's
But
not like it hit that particular situation targeted the LGBT community. The next one is probably going to be a biracial couple, a couple of color,
mm,
and yeah, that sucks. That's horrible.
it may not hit home to some people now, but like Melody said, like you just said, like it could be this, it could be that. So like it may not hit home right now, but like we gotta expand our minds and think like, yeah, this could be next. Someone who
Everyone's
doesn't like
target.
that, I'm with my white girlfriend, my black boyfriend, or whatever. But I do want to say right now, onto a little better news, the people who try and fight and save us in these hospitals, congratulations to the NYC Health and Hospital. The nurses in NYC have been fighting hard because of unjust, paid little, paid poorly, and people that are not in private sectors like Mount Sinai not getting treated equally enough. And they had a breaking historic win. So congrats to NYC Health and Hospital nurses winning this historic contract. Very happy for you guys. It's well deserved. I know what it feels like to work hard and be underpaid and et cetera, et cetera. So, and these are the people that take care of us, especially here in NYC. So congratulations to what is well deserved for you guys. And but yeah, another thing Sunday.
Next is the SAG actors.
Yeah. Well, listen, they're not saving our lives, but yes, next is them because
they're keeping us entertained. Though.
Well, yeah. I'd rather say
Jinx.
they're keeping us entertained, yes, but I'd rather people save my life first than keep us entertained. But on Sunday, girl, much to my chagrin, as I said in my stories, or actually on the Inner Circle podcast story, I wake up, I go on my phone to check my phone, and I see an app with an X and the black background. I was scared. I was shooketh. Why? I don't know. But I was scared and shooketh. I'm like, what?
Did you not know it was happening?
No, we knew that Elon Musk was gonna do that. But I didn't know when and where. And excuse me, like, you know how many times we have to update our phones for a new feature to think? I thought we would have to update our phones. No, it was boom there.
Automatically, yeah.
I thought, what porn site? I did not download any porn apps or whatever. What the hell is this?
Yours was downloaded, or yours changed like faster than mine, because mine took like an extra day or so for it to change. And I don't even be on Twitter like that.
And I click on it and I'm like, oh, it's Twitter. But it's just the new updated version that Elon Musk did.
So we don't say tweet, like Twitter. I'm not tweeting, you say I'm Xing? Like, what is it?
I know a good friend. We had him on the show. Jake Yonsei. He left Twitter. He made an announcement that he was leaving Twitter because of the changes and stuff. Listen, a lot of celebrities before, even with the blue check and stuff, was already talking about leaving Twitter and that Twitter's not the same, etc. Honestly, this whole X thing, and let's be real, I'm gonna be honest. I only use Twitter for a certain thing.
Extracurricular activities.
There you go. Extracurricular activity. So for me, I'm not even on Twitter like that ever since my original account got suspended because I was a reckless little bitch back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know how to feel about this whole X. I think it's Elon Musk trying to, who has bigger cojones going versus what is it? Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Has to do with Threads. What do you think about this bullshit? Like, it's I just, again, Twitter to me has been dead a long time ago.
I only go on Twitter for 2 accounts. Fat Kid Deals, which gives me all the discounts and like 50% off coupons for anything on Amazon, for a lot of things on Amazon actually. And the second account, I can't talk about. But yes, it's not bad to find information on Twitter. Black Twitter is hilarious. And the jokes that they have for like Real Housewives and stuff, like it's fun for me to go there after I'm watching or during an episode, like during watching an episode and you're tweeting or reading tweets. It's hilarious because you feel like you're watching it with an audience. But honestly, the whole X thing is fucking stupid. I don't be on Twitter like that. If they're trying to compare it with Threads, I don't even have Threads. I was actually thinking the other day, for me to see someone's Thread account, do I have to have Threads to see it?
I have no idea.
I'll look that up. But I think this
Ask
is,
our girl Jamie Liss, who's also been on the show. Shout out to Jamie Liss. She has
you
threats, so
know.
ask her. Yeah,
All
ask.
right,
Well, I don't know if
yes.
she knows, but
I
I don't know.
I think that like he obviously Elon Musk is trying to revamp Twitter because Twitter has been in the news in the media for negative like connotations and stuff since he has taken the reins of Twitter. But it's not gonna progress the same way Vine left and Tumblr is basically shit, then that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna go to shit.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think
and didn't Tumblr like get shut down or whatever, like as well, like a while ago?
was it Tumblr or was it
Because
Vine?
Tumblr started showing porn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Tumblr was
Tumblr.
good for that.
It was Tumblr.
It was like GIFs and
Tumblr
stuff.
has some good stuff.
You could find people shit in there.
Yeah. That
No
was the
one
thing.
was
You will
safe.
find shit like people I know, like yeah. Oh, I miss Tumblr actually.
Yeah. Really
Vine I
quick,
never got into.
which Vine? I never really
Never
cared
got
for
into.
Vine either.
Never
That was
downloaded. Never
more
got
for
into.
like young kids. That was for like not even Gen Z. Apparently, that was
Millennials.
for us.
That
That
was
was for
for
us.
us.
Yeah.
That was for us. I didn't get
Maybe
into it.
what is the like latest age of a millennial? 30?
It's
29?
off at like at 30, 30, 31, 32. 30, 31, 32, I feel.
Really?
I don't know. We can look it up. I
So
looked
were
it
you
up, but
so technically I'm a young millennial? Okay, no wonder I'm popping. But I will say I really quick, not to like make this worse. I know I should have talked about this when you discussed O'Shea, but also sad news, the actor from Euphoria,
oh
Angus
yes.
Connor,
We posted that on
Angus
our Twitter
Cloud,
page.
he basically passed away. That's really sad. Did you know what
His
happened?
dad also died like
Like a
a
week
few weeks
ago.
ago, and he was
Yeah.
at the funeral just a week ago.
Yeah, and he was devastated, and that was his best friend.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is to bury a parent, but I know I just thinking about it gives me heart palpitations because I don't even want to discuss that. But my heart breaks because he seemed like such a genuine person, and he seemed like he had such a like he had a bright future ahead of him. As much as it was funny, like his acting was funny to me, but still, like he was a breakout star in Euphoria, and it's really sad. He was so young,
25. 25 years old.
25, a baby.
25. And, you know, they're investigating right now. Nothing's been released, but they feel that maybe an overdose. And that's just scary.
I think it's been
confirmed?
it's been ruled a suicide.
Oh,
I think. Yeah. That's really sad.
So a suicide where he with drugs, he took too many drugs to basically, or basically. Like, okay. Gotcha. Oh.
And he overcame like a brain injury. That's why I liked him, because I liked his story. He basically fell like in a manhole when he was walking in the dark once, and basically cracked his skull open. And he had to get surgery and stuff. And that's why he has that like slow speech. It wasn't because he's acting. It's really like that was his personality. But obviously he's gonna be missed, and rest easy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like everything, all these young suicides, and even like on our circle page, like people DM us and stuff, and like people also their feedback is like, "What is going on? What is going on with like, especially the young ones and like these overdoses?" And it's sad.
If it's not the young ones, it's so weird because it's either the young ones or the really old ones. Tony Bennett, what's his name? Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett passed a few weeks ago. Just the other day, I mean, he's not that. I know with you, he wasn't. You know, I know he wasn't a thing, but Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, he also passed earlier.
Listen, I can't deny the fact that Pee Wee Herman a lot of us grew up watching him.
Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Saves Christmas, all those fucking movies.
Yeah, I can't deny that, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. However, in the later years of his life, he wasn't really known for doing good things. So at the end of the day, like, he's a human. God rest his soul.
Yeah. Um, it's craziness. But let's get into a little. Let's go back, because sometimes it's always so good to go back and have fun in times that we found it fun and peaceful and not crazy and chaotic. And for us, that's the early 2000s, when we were still teenagers and adolescents. And the music was popping, the videos was popping, and music was good back then. So today, I know we've done this before in different ways, but today, Melody and myself are going to go down 5 or 4, I know Melody has 4,
I have
videos of the
5.
2000s
I just thought of
who
one.
videos of the 2000s that is not our favorite top 5 videos of the 2000s, but it's videos that were, or songs that were popping, that deserve recognition, and sometimes we forget. Even me, this weekend I was like, I went through a 2000s pop hold on one of the days where I was just watching like pop videos from Old Town, and just think, and it's like, wow, like
Liquid Dreams.
we like, yeah, it's like those good, like those old
It's
school good songs,
videos that changed our life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I chose. Videos that changed my life, that I saw them and I was like, wow, this made an impact on me.
For me, it's not necessarily changed my life, just to put that out there. When I start listening and people are like, oh, that changed your life. No, but it's just videos that I loved and that were popping. And especially with some of these artists that was like groundbreaking for them, etc. So do you want to begin?
Am I doing all at once, or should you do one and then I do one?
We can go back and forth.
All right. So the first one, in no particular order. The first one that I have is obviously Spice Girls, Say You'll Be There. That is one of my favorite Spice Girls songs ever. I think when I first saw the video, I specifically remember watching it with my brother, my sister, and my stepbrothers. And we were sitting around the couch watching MTV. The Baby One More Time came on, and then Say You'll Be There came on. And just watching these 5 women, and I was mesmerized by Scary Spice. I was like, she's beautiful. Like, I love her. And then I fucking gagged when I found out her name was Melanie, and Sporty's name is Melanie too. So my mom tried to tell me, oh, I named you after them. Okay, girl. But yes, Say You'll Be There is a video that like was iconic to me. They look like bad bitches. And yeah. What's yours?
For me, one of them is, and I love, like, I've always loved dance. I've always loved dance. I was in this thing called in school, like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, Chance to Dance. My senior year of high school, I took dance. So I appreciate this video, and she's a badass. This girl could dance her ass off, and this video was just that. Maya, Case of the X. It may not necessarily be considered pop, but she did kind of do that pop crossover with that song. Not only is the song a bop, and the song still is a bop to this day,
still slap that
and
shit.
can still be dedicated to any motherfucker to this day. Maya, Case of the X is a bop, and the video itself was just in the desert, dancing, just dancing. It was just dance. And the funny thing about that video is, that stands out to me, is one of the girls, Amina, a dancer, went on to be Britney's dancers for several tours and appeared in Britney's videos a few times. So it stands out to me. Like, it's just a great video. Maya, Case of the X. Check it out. If you don't, if you're a Gen Zer, or maybe you're a millennial and you just never knew about certain songs back then, or whatever. It wasn't your judge. Get into it because it was good. What about you?
Funny story. That song won a Best American Choreography Award for Best Hip Hop Song. Because that bitch with
she danced her ass off. Yeah, when they did the stick thing. I love
5, 6, 7, 8. Shout out to Shakespeare. I wish Shakespeare could freaking produce Britney's album. Okay, so the next one I just mentioned obviously was Baby One More Time. Baby One More Time, when it first came out, I saw the video and I was like, oh my God, I want to be a schoolgirl. I want to go to a high school like that. Luckily, I did go to a high school like that. Shout out to Gulf Coast High School in Naples, Florida. But we didn't have uniforms. And it was just very... Britney Spears seeing that video, it resonated with me because I was like, wow, I love the background of the video. The fact that she thought of the concept herself.
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a Power Ranger-esque video, like animated type video.
Right. And I just love the fact that she did it very like meticulously, and it was very low budget, but you can't tell from like the execution. So that was a good video. And that like, I was in an Uber yesterday going to one of my clients, and Baby One More Time came up, and I said, excuse me, sir, can you crank this? This is my song. And he was like, this is my song too. And he cranked it. But yeah, it's a bop.
I was gonna ask, but I don't want to be stereotyped. I don't want to stereotype any guy who likes a song or Britney Spears that they're gay. But was he good?
No, he wasn't gay. No, because he was hitting on me.
Love it.
Like, no, he was not gay.
Another one for me. I know I just mentioned it. Dumb. Old Town actually. I came to like Old Town with Liquid Dreams, like off the bat. Plus, they was in this show called Making the Band back then. There was a few Making the Bands. Not only did he's Making the Band, but I think originally was Making the Band with them, with like the pop white folks, and then Diddy took it over. But anyways, not their first hit, Liquid Dreams, although that's a bop. But actually, Old Town, We Fit Together. I wanna go all night.
I love that song. I love Old Town.
Song. You know that song? I was listening to it, and I was like, I must have been. I was definitely in high school. Must have been 14 or 15, maybe 13 even. I don't know, 13, 14, 15. But really listening to the lyrics now, like really this past week and listening, I'm like, this song is dirty as fuck.
Yeah.
Like disgust. Yep. Like for me bopping to it back then, this is I want to go all night, ain't no stopping to the inside it like.
Yeah, bitch. Those writers, they knew what they were doing. Funny story, Trevor from the band, the one that had like that little afro, he was
the curly hair, yeah.
I think it was biracial. I went to school with him. We went to college together. Yeah, he was friends with one of my old friends.
Look at us.
I'll tell you.
Listen,
we went.
Go ahead.
He went to school in Florida. I went for a semester to the school in Central Florida. I'm not gonna say the school, but. Yeah, I'll explain to you after this.
Listen, we're meant to. I'm telling you, we talked about our celebrity run-ins. We are meant to just be, honey, because since we're younger, we're going to school with stars. You with Trevor, me with Arcangel in the Hope High School. I mentioned the school. I dropped the school. Ninth grade, because after ninth grade, he left. I heard he went to Puerto Rico, moved to Puerto Rico, back to Puerto Rico, something like that. But anyways, your turn.
Okay, so the next one that I have, and I'm changing gears from pop to New Orleans bounce / Southern rap, Juvenile, Back That Ass Up. Picture it, 1999. You sitting under the AC because it's hot as fuck, and this song comes on with the fucking strings and the chords of the violin, and you hear Cash Money taking over for the 99 and 2000. It's a wrap. When I saw all those women dancing and shaking their ass, I was like clutching my little fake Barbie pearls. But at the same time, I wanted to be twerking too. So, and I remember my mom would be dancing to that song, and I would be like, ew, that's disgusting. But then at the same time, I wanted to be dancing with her. So, yes, I just loved how, like, it took footage of them, like, being in a concert. And like it wasn't like a traditional music video where they have making the video where they have like the concept of the video is blah blah blah. It was basically like home video of concerts. That's why I really like that video.
Well, you know what? I actually I'm gonna be honest. I thought I took a picture of my top 5, and then as we're going live through the show, I'm like coming up with it. Old Town was on the list, but I remember I scratched it off.
Yeah.
And I forgot, you just reminded me that I did have someone on my list. You switched gears to hip hop, and for me now next, I'll have to get rid of one of them, I guess.
You don't need to get rid of it. We can keep going.
Little Kim, How Many Licks? When that video premiered, 2001? It was 2001. 2000 or 2001? 2000, because Notorious Cam came out in 2000, so it must have came out in fall of 2000, the video, because no matter what they say, it was the first single. Um, that video to this day, and it's one of those rap songs that I do know, especially the first verse. Like, and Tony, he was Italian. He didn't give up. That's what I like about him. He in the morning called this girl up and told her I'm doing the blocking because we don't have no AR person or whatever to do the block for us yet. But that video in general, the black latex, she did all the. Speaking of Barbie, she said it. She wanted to have different types of Barbie, obviously sexy Barbies. She had the candy pinup, the pinup Kim. She had the Knight Rider, where she was like all black and latex.
Yeah,
that is an iconic. I don't.
And Cisco,
I don't use the
shout
word
out to
iconic.
Cisco.
Well, he wasn't even in the video though, because of
his. But like he.
Whatever.
Oh really? I didn't know that. That reminds.
But he's featured in the song. Yeah, Cisco.
But he made that song.
Yeah, that video and song to this day still hits. Little Kim, how many licks? How about you? What's next?
Okay. The next one for me is this is one of my favorite bands of all time, Jamiroquai, Virtual Insanity. That I'm so happy that I got to see Jamiroquai in concert in Citi Field before like they decided to not come back to the States. But just seeing that video, it was very like futuristic. I remember it was a close one between that and Jennifer Lopez, If You Have My Love. I don't really give a fuck for J-Lo. I don't see the appeal, whatever. But I do like futuristic, like technological videos, and the message of Virtual Insanity is very true, and it's very like happening right now, where the future is made of virtual insanity. So that was a video that I really liked, and I like the whole moonwalking and like the floor moving around. It was minimalistic but very modern.
That got played a lot. My next one for me is and again, these are just ones that came or whatever. There's so many, and we could do this segment in the future because it's just so much culture and pop music, and not only pop music, but early 2000s great music. My next one is Backstreet Boys, The Call.
I love that one.
Backstreet Boys, The Call. Like
I was gonna do Everybody, but
Backstreet Boys, The Call, which must have been released 2002. It came out on the Black and Blue album that was released in 2001. The song itself, basically speaking of a guy who fucked up because of cheating and calling his girl whatever, but the video also took it to that extra level of like basically the guy cheating, but the girl is all over it already. It's a great video. It's a great song, and I don't know. I really, that's one of my favorite, believe it or not, one of my favorite Backstreet Boys singles. Like, it's an up tempo, the message, and then again, the video was like kind of dark / it was more of a story. It wasn't them dancing or whatever. It's kind of dark. I love it. The Call. If you haven't checked it out or heard it, definitely go check it out. The Backstreet Boys. Your turn.
This last one, it was very hard for me because I feel like this video, the song, I was listening to it the other day and I was just like, it's cutesy. And we just talked about her, Beyonce, Crazy in Love. I feel like that video, that showed choreography and it showed like how creative she is. And obviously it was her standing out like from being in a girl group or being in Destiny's Child. But to me, that video is like cute, empowering, and obviously she had Jay-Z on there.
Let's say it, iconic, because a lot of other artists, Normani and others, Saucy Santana, many other people have gone and recreated and paid homage to that video. So it's like it's an iconic video for Beyonce. She's done before that. That was her first solo single from her first album. She did do solo songs like "Check on It" for the Austin Power soundtrack and stuff. But like you said, that video right there, really, those were little singles. She was still with Destiny's Child, the ones she did before, solo songs. But this was from her first album, and she really took it there. This is my first album, my first official video for my first album. She made it iconic. Like "Baby One More Time" to Britney. Crazy in Love was to Beyonce.
Beyonce always was like great with Destiny's Child, but I think that Crazy in Love catapulted her to new heights, and it almost compared her to like Diana Ross when she left the Supremes. So that's one of my like favorite videos of all time. And like listening to that song for some reason, like it never gets old to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's one of those ageless songs. All right. Last but not least for me. Now I have two because I forgot that Old Town was like number 6, and I had included Luca. But so there's two. I'm gonna mention. I'm not gonna get that deep into them. Samantha Mumba, Baby Come On Over. Although her first single was Gotta Tell You. Yeah, but the second single, Baby Come On Over from her freshman album, it was just so pop. And for a girl from overseas, she's from Ireland, a Black Irish. I just loved it. The colors. It was very what the US was giving when it came to music videos. The pop of colors, the change of like little costumes, cut out the jeans, the little shirts, like. And she did it so well, especially for, again, a girl. I hate doing the whole girl of color, white girl thing. But let's be real. The early 2000s had a lot of white girls. And listen, I'm a huge cookie cutter. And I love, listen, I'm the biggest I'm a huge Britney Spears fan. So obviously I'm not hating. But for her to still fit in this, like the cookie cutter era, I love that video. It's a cute song. Baby, come on over.
I like how she sampled the part that says "This is your night tonight."
Yeah.
She sampled "Cool in the Gang," "Ladies' Night."
I didn't even know. Oh, okay. I never knew that. Listen,
yes,
we're learning.
I'm a disco diva, honey. Yeah, that's my shit. I love Samantha Mumba.
Yeah, me too. I love her, and she still looks great. I seen an interview on YouTube of her that she did like a year or so ago. She still looks amazing. Black don't crack, honey. And Jessica Simpson's "Irresistible." Now, this was her first single from her second album, her sophomore album. Right now. And listen, her first album, they wanted to listen. Jessica Simpson's a great singer. Her first album, they wanted to showcase her voice, introduce her. But I think Jessica and the record people also knew what was going on with the sexy cookie cutter. The cookie cutter girls was turning sexy, and Jessica Simpson had to turn sexy. And she did with "Irresistible." That's a bop. There went to be a remix with Little Bow Wow of all people and Jermaine Dupri.
I never heard it
of that song. Yeah, and a video. The video is very early 2000s, very futuristic. The buildings, the trains, like you've seen the video, obviously.
Yeah. I thought it was like a Christian song, like
"Irresistible."
Yeah. More something about being spiritual. I don't know. I could have sworn it was a Christian song. Did she admit
that afterwards? I think you're right. I think years later she admitted that it was meant to be more like you said, a spiritual song. But the A&R
I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah. So those songs, amazing times. It's good to just be nostalgic and go back to the early 2000s. But this weekend you and I was talking, and you sent me a video of, because this is basically all pop culture and culture, like pop culture. And we seen, it was basically a question of asking people of what, like, do you want to reiterate it? What made them, how did people know you was into culture, right?
How did you get into what introduced you to to be into culture? Like, what was your introductory point into like pop? Doesn't necessarily have to be pop culture,
culture.
Pop culture, yeah.
Like all things for culture. Me, so take it away, because mine you may think is a little weird, but I go into it. But go ahead.
So pop culture, for anyone that doesn't know, is like current things that are on trend, music, media, fashion, anything in the industry that like is like
franchises.
Right. I think my introductory point to pop culture was when I lived in Florida, when I lived in Naples, and we had just moved from Miami, and we had these neighbors. We had a neighbor. He was the finest gay man I've ever seen in my life. And I would not sneak, but like I could literally turn my head and go into my lanai and look at what he was watching in TV because he didn't have curtains. Not saying that that's a gay thing, but like you guys like to be out there and exposed. Um, he didn't have
Exhibitionist.
curtains. Yes, and he would be watching and having the TV on full blast. Queer Eye for the Straight Guy on Bravo TV. So I would listen to the song, the "All Things Just Keep Getting Better," and I would always hear that song, and I would hear like Carson Kressley in the background, or the other
Tom
guy,
DeLonge.
Tom Felicia, or Jay Hernandez, all the guys. And then I was like, you know what? I want to start watching the show. So I started watching it with my sister, and we like were obsessed. I know it was for straight guys. It was geared towards them, but it was also for women too as well, because it kind of helped women realize like little things that they can help out with their boyfriends or significant others. And then that's where I got Bravo introduced me to the Real Housewives and all the shows that they had, like Tabitha Takes Over, Blowout with Jonathan Anton. It was like my favorite thing to do to come home was to watch the Bravo channel. And years later, I'm still doing it. But yeah, that's how I was introduced. And not only that, but also like watching MTV. But I feel with culture and like with fashion and music, it was mostly Bravo, because Bravo brought the fashions, MTV brought the music.
When you sent me this and asked it, I went into a rabbit hole and I'm like, well, I don't know if this is necessarily to some people will be like, huh? A culture or whatever. But I took it back to like a young kid. I took it back to I took it back to many things. But if you really want to take it back to like young, like what getting into culture, even as a toddler, like 3, 4, whatever, things like Sesame Street. That
I didn't watch
Sesame
that.
Street was, but think about it, the years, the cultural phenomenon, the Elmos, the Big Birds. Then and I'm just mentioning that Ninja Turtles, the Ninja Turtles from back then. Like, listen, I'm going geeked out like back. Like when I heard this, I'm like, oh wow, this is like so broad because like it could be so much. And it could be like depending on the stages of your life. Ninja Turtles. I love the old Ninja Turtle cartoons and then the movies. And it's still going on today. Funny enough, today a new Ninja Turtles has come out. Like it's still carrying on to ages and new generations. If that's not pop culture, I don't know what is. But then let's continue for me as a kid still, because I was that 5-year-old in love. Horror is my favorite genre, and I was that 5-year-old who did not mind Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, pop culture, like that's culture there, like the franchises and how long that's gone on, and even still to this day, who doesn't know Freddy? 1, 2, Freddy's coming, like it just evolves. I think for me, that question was kind of fun, and I was so down to talk about this because it's like, if you really want to get into it, it's like a rabbit hole, and there's so much like you could touch on of what Batman from a young age. Love the Batman. Like I'm a huge. He's my favorite superhero, Batman. The Batman. So I went back to when I was young.
Let me ask you a question. You went back to when you were young. You were young. That's fine. But what part of like reality TV show, like what reality TV show captivated you and was like, oh shit, I really like this. I really like watching reality.
So
TV.
reality TV wise, because let's remember that started more like in the early 90s, that culture. And it started with, and this is easy for me, Real World. The Real World. And for me, I just love the reality of like 7 strangers seeing different personalities live together. Like I remember I must have been 12, 11 when I first watched The Real World, although it was going on already, but I lived in Puerto Rico for a while. In Puerto Rico, like my family didn't get cable till like cable TV till 96, a year before, basically before we came back into the States. So I started watching Real World when we came to the States. So I must have been 11, 12, or 10 or 11, 12, one of those ages. So it was the real world. The real world was for me that captivated me. And I was like, I wanted to be on it. I've auditioned for it. As I grew older, like no lie, especially when I was 18, 19, I used to be told so much. Like, so if I had $1 for all the times when I was younger, I was told I looked like Usher or that I should have been on the real world, I'll be living.
So let me push it further. Is there a scene in your favorite scene from all the franchises of Real World? Is there a scene or something that plays over in your mind that you think about and you're like, oh my God, that was so iconic? Or I remember specifically like something that happened. For me, for example, was when that one chick, Irene, got slapped
by Steven. Yeah, I was going to say that too. That stands out. I was going to say the same thing too. That's definitely a standout. But for me also was seeing more gay people introduced on the show. And that's when I was already watching. And I was already a fan of it and watching and continue growing with it. Adolescent teenagers. So to start seeing gay people and identifying myself like, oh my God, I could, although I thought Steven was gay, he never really admitted it. And that's another story for another day. But like, you know, when I started seeing openly gay people on the show, that stands out to me because it's like, okay, I see myself, although I wasn't out back then, but it felt good to see myself and identify myself like, okay, like I'll be okay. Like, look at these people putting themselves out there. Like, I'm going to be okay eventually too when I get older or whatever my mindset was back then. But the Steven thing definitely stands out, but also seeing more gay people there. What other things? I don't know.
Every time that I saw someone of color or like a person, every time I saw someone of color, I was just like mesmerized because it wasn't just white people. So I think when I think of reality TV,
real quick, I'm sorry not to cut you off. I rewatched this years later, but I also remember being young before really getting into it. My aunt used to watch it. My mom's sister. And Pedro. Pedro was also, I watched the season after, and that also sticks out to me now as an adult. Because he was actually one of the first people, if not the first person, featured out there that was openly gay, but also openly gay and HIV positive. And he shared his story, and unfortunately he passed not too long after his season. So that also stands out to me, an individual like Pedro, in that they shared his story and like was just so raw, especially for the early mid 90s. That too.
Pedro Zamora, I think was his name.
Yeah. My aunt loved him, and I remember hearing the adults, my aunt being like talking about the real world and Pedro individually, and how she was so touched and cried about his story. And I'm like,
he was beautiful. He was good looking outside and inside. He was very beautiful. But
it's a rabbit hole. Yeah, it's like, but that's why I'm like, let's totally talk about this, because it's like, it could be so many things for so many people. Obviously, we've seen that video and they answered the way they answered, but like, I'm like, no, like it could be.
Some people are younger in that video where they're thinking of like culture that's now. I like to think of culture that was back then.
Yeah, I went back to like.
Yeah, you went to childhood. I went to where I was like a teen or like a young adult, I guess. But
even in my notes, I have Clueless.
Stuck on this ride.
I have Clueless in my notes. I was in love with Clueless when that movie came out, and look at the cultural phenomenon it still is to this day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What else? Well, you don't like Scream, but I even have Scream in my notes.
Clueless.
We should. Well, I'm not just up in drags.
You be Dion. I be. Never mind. Where's Sean?
I'm not right.
Where's Sean? He be my Dion.
But yeah, that was fun. Like pop culture, and this is something we do on our show. Like we talk about pop culture and all that. So that's amazing.
I don't think so. We don't need to deep dive on a show to like explain
pop culture. Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah. Culture, people, culture. But it has been a fun show. I'm like, listen, guys.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're excited. You definitely.
I'm gonna pack.
tune in to the Inner Circle podcast Instagram page this weekend because we'll definitely be giving you exclusive sneak peeks. Bringing you with us a little bit on our BFF trip. So definitely tune in. If you're not following the Instagram, you're missing out. There's gonna be exclusive things there. Tune in next week because obviously we're gonna come back like 50 Shades darker. And we're gonna talk about our trip and keep the heat coming because we don't stop. Like Miley Cyrus, we keep it coming for you guys.
Can't stop.
So yeah, we can't stop. We won't stop. We don't stop. Till next week. Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find us on your favorite streaming places: Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcast streaming. And you can find us, watch us on YouTube and Facebook. A like on YouTube goes a long way. Share it, subscribe. We are out. See you guys next week.
Bye.
See you on the gram in Puerto Rico, y'all.